I swear to God, if this mic fucking breaks, I'm gonna use Canon. This comment pisses me off. If there's something that pisses me off even more, it'd be Keemstar or fucking feminazis! This video was sponsored by AnimeExforum.com. Nekomikore emo aishitero, nekomikore emo nanishitero. Let's begin the history of gunpowder. Using a different voice.
And it's down along the falls road, it's where it longs and
Gunpowder existed in the Middle Ages, specifically the late Middle Ages. Blame the Mongols for Pax Mongolica, which connected Europe with China for trade once again. The Mongols took over a huge-ass motherfucking amount of land in their rule after destroying China, Khwarezmia, and several Eastern European countries, except for Hungary, who is now deluded into believing that they destroyed the Mongols when in fact the Mongols left due to their Khan's death and that the sons must go back to Mongolia to vote for a new Khan. The first guns existed as hand cannons, which were invented in the 13th century. They're better off used at closer ranges because the handguns had a hard time penetrating armor at long distances. And to Darkest 24, who thinks that the bullets will still do a fuck ton of damage,
А, нет, стык попал.
Да не важно.
I'm talking about fully thick-plated armored knights and not foot regiments with their fashionable uniforms literally made of textiles that are definitely not bulletproof, you fucking retard. Anyways, I'm not going as far as the Italian Renaissance cause I consider changes in fortification designs as the absolute end of the medieval era, which I will discuss later here in the video.
a comrade on me left eye, another one on me.
Remember, guns are not that overpowered in medieval warfare, but cannons were. In fact, later cannons such as the Dardanelles. Guys, I don't know if I pronounced Dardanelles right. I fuck all of you. Such as the Dardanelles gun of the Ottoman Empire ended the concept of castle walls, well, except in Japan at least, which was further encouraged by the invention of firearms. In Europe, artillery destroyed the very concept of castle walls in the first place, cause round shots will quickly rip through such defenses because castle walls were designed against pointed sticks, rocks, and possibly flaming rocks, not flying bolts of iron. Well, except of course flying bolts of iron were somewhat defeated by Star Force, which did a very good job against sieges. You see, in the Middle Ages, curtain walls were common back then, when guns were just introduced, and after later developments of the cannon easily toppled down curtain walls cause they were standing straight and not gay. So I call the construction of Star Force the end of the Middle Ages, because the slope walls made it more resistant to round shots than curtain walls. Because Star Force were sloped, and a slope wall either means advanced technology or Japanese fortified hills, or a Nazi panzer with sloped armor that can deflect shells from enemy tanks. The reason why we no longer use giant cannons like the Dardanelles gun in the colonial era is because tiny caliber round shots with armor piercing warheads is much more mobile and easy to move around in the battlefield than a giant stone cylinder that can only shoot extremely fucking huge balls of stone at specific points in the battlefield, which will literally take days to move from point A to point B due to the huge ass mass of the monster guns.
A clip of ammunition for the little arm alive.
Going back to tiny handheld cannons, arquebus muskets were still wholly inaccurate beyond 100 meters. Line infantry had to be developed to cope up with both the problems of inaccurate guns and at the same time overpopulation, cause war means less people, and less people means shorter lines for the toilets, shorter lines for the roller coaster rides, shorter lines for everything. It's proven. Go look at it. Go look it up in it's proven. Go look it up in encyclopedia. An arquebus fires by suddenly striking a slow-burning wick into a pan of black powder. To reload, one must place black powder through the muzzle and add some to the pan, aim and then fire. A handgun is much more difficult to use, but are way cheaper and easier to govern due to the fact that starving peasants are unable to gain their hands on handguns without looking for ways to manufacture ammunition and its black powder propellant, which made controlling revolts much easier cause I have a gun and you don't! don't! Even if the rebels got their hands on these guns, they'll end up with a problem of manufacturing rounds and, again, black powder propellant.
I was stopped by a soldier, he said you are a swine.
In late medieval warfare, guns coexisted with longbows cause archers can reload much more quickly than, let's say, a guy with a cannon on a stick. Picture this. A man with a long curved stick with a string will simply have to horizontally place his pointed and feathered stick to his curved stick, pull the string with the stick, and loose his fingers so that the stick will fly towards his enemy.
Draw. Wait for it, lad.
No. Draw. Loose.
Compare that to a man with a metal cylinder on a stick having to light up a slow-burning flammable wick using either flint or a piece of round glass, measure and then pour black powder into a foresaid cylinder, place metal ball into the cylinder, aim at his foe before immediately inserting a foresaid wick's burning end into a slot at the top of his metal cylinder so that the metal ball flies to his foes before doing all that shit over again. Also, there are types of gun locks for both safety and controlled firing. Wheel locks are expensive to manufacture, which means only aristocrats and monarchs can get their hands on these guns. The snap hands was an expensive predecessor of the flintlock, or was it the dog lock? I don't give a shit at this point. And the flintlock became widely used until brass cartridges. Fuck! And the flintlock became widely used until brass cartridges were introduced to breech loading guns with varying designs. God, my fucking head hurts using that voice loudly.
I begged and I pleaded all my manners.
Now, I don't see a good reason why medieval fantasy wouldn't include guns in their worlds. Maybe they should stop watching animes like Gate, cause Gate is a bad influence, not as Japanese military propaganda. You know, cause Japan's military is so crap that they can only beat a backwards nation. But because it's military tactics and its depiction of logic to its antagonists is shit, they already know that the JSDF had guns, so why don't they begin to trade and gain access to such technological innovation? To such technological innovations. Oh, because fuck them, fuck logic, and fuck common sense! We just want a modern army to destroy medieval one! Mark Twain already did something like that, and it involved a gun engineer from Connecticut killing 30,000 Catholic knights using landmines, electric chicken wire, and fucking Gatling guns with an army consisting literally of boy bands. So please, Kingdom Light, add guns to your game. Oh, and also a Kriegsmesser, because that will be fucking epic.
Hello, my name is Cannon. Fidel's microphone passed away, again, and his neck already started to hurt from all that yelling into the microphone, so he decided to call me and save the day, again. Just read his last few paragraphs for a few seconds. There, you're done. Now Fidel finally decided to start making the Touhou Christmas calendar project right now, and considering that he already did several visits to S&R simply to eat lunch, he now has references on what backgrounds to draw. In conclusion, just read this, and we'll see you next week.
Hello, my name is Historia Civilis. I am sorry if I'm wearing this shitty ass t-shirt right now. Hiroshima. I don't have any other t-shirts to wear because, you know, desperate times, we are in debt. And why am I so poor? Today, I'm going to show you the differences between firing with a longbow and... Did I just say fire with a longbow? Jesus Christ! Today I'm gonna show you the difference between loosing with a longbow and firing with a handgun. So, to loose, I'm just gonna say shoot, alright? To shoot, you must lift up this longbow, alright? And you have this arrow. All you do is this. Aim! Loose! See? Like that. Different angle, alright. Aim! Loose! Aim! Loose! Aim! Loose! Now let's compare that to firing a handgun. You get the slow burning wick and start a fire. You know, light it up. At least I know that I can just use the sun to light up this wick. Alright. Black powder, sorry. It's like those memories when I was in the brothel. Jesus Christ, it's fucking hot in here. Yeah, back in the days when I was in the brothel, I used to give the strippers a hand job. Oh, yeah. You want that, don't you? Do you enjoy anal? I'll be in my room, alright? I'm sorry. Alright, gunpowder is inserted. Round. Then ball. Burning wick. And that is how you use a handgun. What the fuck am I doing with my life?